got some last adjustments. And hello, any of those of you who tune in, welcome to the last stream of the year for me. Sort of my typical, I guess, fairly recent idea of just doing streaming during the holidays so that I can still put out content while mostly focusing on time with the family. Just a bit of a sound check. Anyone tuning in, please let me know if the background noise is too loud. Give it a minute or so for response. If not, we'll just get going. At any rate, the sort of theme of this last one, and I think I intend to sort of make a tradition out of this, is just going to be a sort of thank you to all the new subscribers, all the viewers that have gotten some of my videos some pretty good view counts, as well as some of the very fine people I've met and become acquainted with over the years, over this last year, particularly Iron Age. And I sort of interviewed Bonsart Bokel of Radio Retro Future, at least once in December. So that's going to be the theme. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. We shall get started. And yeah, I picked Risk of Rain for the simple reason that I don't have to think as much, and this will make it just easier for me to ramble, essentially. Yeah. Captain's my least favorite of the survivors. And at some point I would like to maybe get the expansions, but for now, I'm just working my way through that. Okay, just let me get started proper, and... I always did like Acrid, one of my preferred survivors, but for this round I went with the artifact that lets me just spawn as random ones every level. Because I don't know, I just like his sort of side effect damage, and especially if I can get the right items, I can basically do a lot of pile up chain damage over the course of a run. But anyways, happy almost New Year to everybody. Hope you all had a lovely holiday season. I certainly enjoyed Christmas with family. Got to see a few relatives from out of state. Including, well, yeah, one of my cousin's daughter. And I might be just a little biased, but I think she's the most adorable thing on Earth. But okay, sorta. The theme is me being thankful here, and so I want to extend my first thanks to all the new subscribers. I've managed to make it to over 2,500 this year. And so, you know, apparently I'm obviously going to keep going and trying to improve. In fact, I've got a few new things planned for the near future, but even so, I'm glad that you think my content is good enough that you were willing to support me thus far. Excuse me. Hold on one quick second. Something I want to quickly check on. That's not it. Darn it. Oh, that's right. Okay. Sorry about that. The next folks I'd like to thank are my two subscribers on Subscribestar. It's not much, but it's definitely more than I had the previous year, and I especially want to thank Soul of the Dragon, who is both a subscriber on Subscribestar and a channel member. He's pretty much, given that he up until recently he was the only one I had, he's pretty much been the guy who sort of been deciding what kinds of videos I do when I'm doing either the Star Wars stuff or lore that isn't L5R. And you know, he's been stuck with me fairly faithfully these last few years, and I'm just very glad that he thinks it worthwhile. So if you ever tune into this, I want to extend a personal thanks to you. It really is kind of funny in a way how my channel ultimately turned out. I kind of admit that in the beginning I was doing this purely for the sake of advertising my books, and in fact recently I can't bring his name to mind, but a commenter on one of my videos basically advised that I put my book ads at the end of the videos instead of in front of them. If regular viewers may have noticed, as he pointed out that was preferable, well, because it would a bit more honest that way. That I actually demonstrate that what I've got is worthwhile before trying to shill. So I'd say that was good advice. So that's the way you have it. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about waiting for me to like finish for like a third. You don't have to wait through the ads before you can get to the content. But yeah, it's kind of, and yeah, I really apart from this and from that, I really I just like talking about things, mostly lore and stuff. So my first I guess my first videos were sort of attempt to do sort of video essays on certain franchises, as well as like lore origins of various things. Ended up doing a few Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings lore videos as well. But as it turned out, the ones that folks really seem to get most of the views were initially it was mostly the Dune videos that got me some new stuff, but then happenstance, one of my co-workers who knew about my writing projects and specifically about my second book Golden Steel, which is available on my website. There's a holiday discount going right now, along with all the others. Because it was set in feudal Japan, she decided to basically lend me... Well, no, she basically just gave me some old L5R books that her son was really into at the time. And so I decided, wow, this was actually... I read them, and it was the Clan Wars novel series. And so I decided that, you know, why not? There aren't that many channels that do it, and so I did like that first round of videos on the Imperial House and the Great Clans, and that seems to be something that a lot of people resonated with, and so in many ways my channel has by this point sort of become default an L5R channel. It's just funny the way the world works sometimes. I'm not ungrateful, you understand. It's just odd that of all things, this is sort of the one that, you know, prior to... Well, I guess lately, the Moorcock videos got a lot of stuff. Particularly the Elric video. Unfortunately, because I couldn't monetize that one because I really, really wanted to include the Rock and Roll Hawkwind intro on that one. And right now that is like that video's got the most views. It's like well over 20,000 now. I decided it was worth. I'm still mostly convinced that it was worth it. Oh, wow. A red item this early. Here comes the boss. But yeah, those yeah, at some point I'm definitely you know, that's definitely the reason why the Moorcock stuff, drat, hang on. Why that's now also in the rotation for, you know, lore that isn't L5R on my sort of the off months. And those have been well received. You know, the Elric one got the most views, but I got some pretty decent responses to Corum and Hawkmoon and Ericose. I guess you know, the next time I do those, I'm definitely going to be trying out if I can find the books and read them first. Jerry Cornelius and sort of the Von Becks. Because that's actually sort of more of a family dynasty than a single character. And especially if you, in like some of the latest Elric stuff, the White Wolf's son, I believe, there is a direct connection between that, you know, one of the Von Becks and Elric. You know, of course, you know, in that weird way that the Eternal Champion is basically every hero in every universe. Speaking of L5R, oh, what the? Oh, right, that's a ghost. That's what the red item does. It's been a while, and I'm not too familiar with all the items. Yeah, speaking of L5R, I've pretty much finished up all the recording for the Steel Chrysanthemum arc of Legend of the Five Rings. Boy howdy, that's going to be something of a... That story was something of a doozy. Real mean bastard, Hante the 16th, let me tell you. Anyone who tunes into this as a Legend of the Five Rings fan will know what I mean. Let's see what you are. Huh. And to think, the Steel Chrysanthemum stuff, all of that is sort of a background for yet another, because like all the stuff I've done so far is sort of background for future arcs. And the Steel Chrysanthemum is relevant to the, I believe it's the War of the Spirits storyline. I believe it's after the Four Winds saga. Definitely after the Clan Wars, because that was just the first ever like storyline in the card game and the tabletop and stuff. Well, no, I don't think it was a tabletop. It was just a card game, but it was but there was RPG elements to it. Yeah. Oh. So, yeah. Next, folks, I would like to thank are especially Richard and the other guys at Iron Age Media. I've been, again, having been with them for over a year, I really, because especially like the short story prompts I want to thank, they've sort of been a great excuse for, because like the last few years after I wrote 3 books and I wasn't really doing a very good job of selling, I decided to spend the next couple of years focused on advertising. Unfortunately, that's not getting me anywhere because I'm just a very poor salesman. Got some plans to rectify that for this year, for this coming year. Hope they all pan out. But yeah. Again, thank you to the Iron Age community for sort of inspiring some new fun short stories, things to like get back into writing for a little bit, even as I'm focusing on selling what I've already got. Ah, bastard with regenerating health bars. I guess the other person of note to thank is Bonsart Bokel, well, of the Association of Ishtar fame. Again, I've done one of my previous streams, I sort of had a direct interview, and in another one this year, I sort of did a little thing promoting his work, figuring that I'm not so good at promoting myself, but maybe I'll have better luck talking about others. And you know, these folks have been very friendly and welcoming, so I figured I should support them if, however I can in my own small ways. And we ended up having a really fun conversation, honestly, over that stream. Ah. This is what you get for trying to shoot on the fly like that. So now that I think of it, we ended up talking far more about our shared interest in history than we actually did about his tabletop RPG, unfortunately. Oh well. It was still worthwhile. At least I think so. Well, and depending on how much time I can spare and how good my ideas are, I might even, and because he's made me part of his Discord, I might even be contributing some to the lore of his RPG once assuming the Kickstarter works out and it all goes live in the end. I hope it does, because it is a nice idea. Because the aspect that there are portals to other dimensions in AOI, I'll just call it that for shorthand, is that it really just allows for anything. Anything goes in that setting. Wow. I guess the other big person to thank is Osvaldo, my comic artist. We're really in the final stages, though in the end I sort of tried to do the text and word bubbles myself, but that didn't come out so well, so I'm going to once again sort of have to defer to him to do that, but it should be pretty easy to do. So I'm hoping I'll be able to finally fulfill my Kickstarter obligations and starting next year. And man, I've been feeling so guilty about that the whole time. The fact that all because I grossly underestimated how long it might take. Oh, Clement Cochina. Thank you very much. Oh, and you're from Chile. Well, welcome to the stream. I think this might be your first appearance on one of them, and thank you again very much for your kind words. Yeah, I hope I got that last name right. Because I know that South American even if it's like Spanish, South American Spanish is fairly distinct from this. I guess we can call it Mesoamerican Spanish. Because apparently, and I only learned this because I know a guy who's part of his family's from Peru. They immigrated here, and he basically explained that in Mesoamerican Spanish, there's a lot more loan words from the pre-Columbian cultures that lived there before the Spanish came. Whereas in South America, that's for various reasons, that's really not so much the case, and thus South American Spanish is actually more similar to the Spanish as spoken in Spain. Really? Oh, that's interesting. Because, like, as far, like, again, like, my knowledge of Chile is pretty sparse. The only significant Amerindian population that I'm aware of in Chile are the Mapuches. Mostly because they basically had this long, drawn-out war that sort of lasted through the colonial period into post-independence. And that there was that big recent vote over reforming the Constitution, and a significant number, and folks were surprised when a significant number of Mapuches actually voted to keep the old one. That's about the extent that I know. You know, that in Pinochet, because you know, the helicopter memes. They're pretty much part of the fabric of meme culture on the internet. You just can't escape those. Let's not make this stream too spicy. Someone might get me in trouble for that. I really could use one of those chain items. Yeah, well. Whoop. So let's see. I've kind of gone through all the folks that I owe gratitude to. You know, apart from friends and family, because you know, I've been fortunate to have plenty of good ones in those departments. So I guess the next thing to be sort of talking about will be what to look forward to this year. Up here. I've already gone over the fact that I will finally be able to fulfill the sort of the Kickstarter rewards for my generous backers. Most of them are probably going to get refunds, given that one, and it's been delayed for so long, and two, I ended up having to change out artists, so it's not going to be the like identical to what they signed on for. Yeah, so like, yeah, I've already talked about sort of L5R, the Steel Chrysanthemum arc. Yeah, so like, I guess the kind of L5R stuff that I'll be covering, because really the next major significant thing that comes up, because I'm doing this, you know, in the course of the timeline, working my way through sort of the background up to the clan wars. Got me a key anyway, and I picked the mystery item. It's actually mostly because like there's a big gap of stuff that's pretty like not significantly eventful, apart from a few things. Like there's going to be the Battle of the Cresting Wave, you know, pretty much the defining moment of the Crab Clan. There's also going to be the second rising of a Yuchiban. But it's actually going to be but a lot of that's going to be sort of spaced out over the course of the year. Mostly because, along with a bunch of more schools and paths video, which apparently a lot of folks really like those, which is nice. But yeah, the next major story arc, or really like major for L5R, is going to be the the Kirin clan exodus and how they became the Unicorn clan, and you know, their return to the Emerald Empire. And honestly, because that's going to be a long involved thing, because I'm going to have to be going back to all kinds of events that were going on during all this other stuff that I've covered. So that might honestly be either like it's either going to be at the end of the year with I might change up the scheduling a bit and basically have that all in December, but you know, take a few months off from posting from posting content to focus on really getting that one done, because it's a long one, or sort of using December of next year to do all that, so that the first thing of 2026 will be the Kirin Exodus. Because it's like, what? It's going to be like in the 8th century when that finally wraps up, and there's a lot of stuff that happens in the interim. I guess the other major well, there was actually a couple other major announcements of what I'm planning to do. First, okay. Whoa! Sent me flying. Ah, bastard got me. Oh well. Let's start a new round. Nah. We'll just go as is. Yeah. In fact, sort of because as it took sort of a while to get Babylon Rocker issue 1 fully drawn and stuff, I basically decided I'm also going to be sort of releasing like short novellas based on it. It pretty much, it'll. So I guess the comic and like the written version are going to sort of be appearing roughly side by side. Though I guess the books will be coming out quicker. Because while I am still trying to focus on selling my stuff, I also feel like I really need to get back into some serious writing as well. Besides the short stories from Iron Age, they've sort of been good for keeping, I guess, my writing skills properly exercised. But yeah, I really do want to start like writing major stuff again. And I've also and I've got, it's the classic thing. I've got so many ideas. Like which one should I apart from Babylon Rocker novellas, which one should I prioritize? Actually reminded me. Speaking of various projects and taking up stuff, because in a way, like one of the writing ones I planned to do, because I really wanted to sort of do I wanted to like do I don't know what you would call it, a sort of sort of like adaptation, modern retelling, sort of of Romance of the Three Kingdoms, because like I actually have those like it's in 2 volumes. I've got the whole thing, and it's genuinely fascinating, but alas, you know, even like, you know, translation, the prose has not aged all that well. Well, but but I really decided that I would do I want to go that way? Nah, I just guess not. Anyway, I sort of wanted to go for a more, I guess, a more historic angle. I guess so. In that sense, and so I did a lot of research and preparation for it. Like literally, I bought this like $100, really expensive book and really thick book of like early Chinese history, because I figured if I wanted to really sort of recreate that period, I should know the period really well. Unfortunately, a lot of story ideas just never came to me. So at the moment, so that's sort of I guess in limbo. Oh, and unless like a brainstorm hits me, it's going to stay that way. Hey, I'm unfortunately one of those writers who kind of agonizes over every line. I mean, like, does this really sound right before, you know, moving on to the next? But I still have all of those notes that I made while I was basically researching for that particular project. And so I'm actually, it's going to be like a side thing. It's not going to like supplant my regular content, but I'm probably going to do a few videos on that, honestly, because it was genuinely fascinating to learn about, and otherwise I've got all this information taking up space in my cranium, seemingly to no purpose. And I've never liked waste. Is that everything? Huh. Oh, must be on a lower level. Oh, it's on an upper one. Never mind. Oh, must have invoked the challenge of the mountain and forgotten about it. Oh dear. take that risk. I guess one other like fairly small project that I've got in mind is it was actually, this was one that sort of came from a couple of years ago. Oh, where I had sort of this written thing for an adaptation of an old Solomon Kane pulp that one of the ones that Howard didn't finish. And I sort of tried to approach Razor Fist about that, since he's made no secret that he's a huge fan of the character. Unfortunately, though he told me to try and send the stuff to him through Facebook and stuff, though I guess at this point no one who even uses Facebook anymore. He's never gotten back to me, so I've just decided, well, his loss. I'll do it myself then. And we'll honestly see how that works out. And it's kind of odd because I've the audio versions of my 3 books that have, and the third one will be ready soon to post on the website. Though unfortunately not in time to for the holiday discount, alas. I had other folks do it because I'm always very self-conscious about the way my voice sounds. It always sounds really nasally. But lately I've sort of been getting this resolve that I need to sort of get over these particular self-perceptions and just soldier on. At any rate, you guys seem to think that I'm worth listening to about certain things. I should just sort of man up, for lack of a better term, instead of constantly relying on others to do it for me. Dang, I'm already running out of relevant things to talk about. Let's see. Yeah. Down. Actually, I've got a few plans for like for the Star Wars stuff this year. I've already the polls. I've already I think announced in the community section that that at some point I'm planning to do the Bounty Hunter book, the Bounty Hunter Wars book trilogy. Mostly because we mostly because we have in this one we have an actually decent post Jedi Boba Fett story. Or at least me, though Fett himself is not the sole principal character. It's going to be pretty interesting. And I think at some point I might even want to really tackle the Shadows of the Empire, the infamous franchise without a film. I remember the book fairly fondly, and I think I've seen the comic. That's pretty good. I've got the because I got the video game actually, but I've never played it. I only have it because at one point I saw this this like old Star Wars games sort of being sold as a package during a real big discount sale, and I decided, you know, why not? That's kind of how I also ended up getting the Jedi Knight series, among other things. I'm also definitely planning on doing the Darth Bane trilogy, partly because I recently remembered a commenter from an older video sort of asking for it, and I've put it in the polls once a few times, but it's never been voted on, and I really would like to do that. So even if it means I'll have, instead of like using comics and stuff, I'm going to have to do that thing where I have my sort of stick figures to sort of show what's going on in the book, because otherwise it's just going to be me talking with nothing to really literally to show for it. Yeah, that'll be something for like the last couple of minutes, because otherwise I'm kind of be running off the rails on what else unrelevant stuff. Yeah. You know, Darth Bane is definitely a very fascinating figure. Or really, in like terms of the universe of Star Wars, he is the most important Sith Lord ever, and I will stake my meager reputation on that one. Like, all the others are just petty warlords compared to him, and even Palpatine only, even though he's the guy that won in the end, well, albeit temporarily, he did so very much off the back of Bane and sort of his plan, because he was the one who invented the rule of two, took the Sith underground so that everybody thought they were extinct. And then, you know, it was 1,000 years of literally hiding in the shadows, waiting for the moment to finally strike down the hated Jedi. You know, Palpatine was merely the culmination of that plan, that long 1,000-year conspiracy. Yeah, I'll take that. And with that, I've pretty much, run out of subject matter relevant to this stream. So I guess once I finish the boss fight, I'll be calling it a night. Ah, there's my boy. My personal favorite Q weapon. So yeah, that's pretty much, like I said, I've run out of all the relevant stuff, other than to say, look forward to several new things, the fulfillment of a few old promises, and again, a really big thanks to everyone for your support, and basically getting me as far as I have. Unfortunately, I still haven't hit upon that sort of lucky thing that'll make the channel explode, but that just means I need to keep trying. Among other things, at this and at other things. Oh, stupid me. Drat. Ooh. And yeah, that's it. Again, I sort of ran out of things to say. relevant things anyway. So once again, thank you all. Thank you all for your support, for contributing to my channel. Hope you all had a lovely holiday season, and I hope you all have a happy new year.